Welcome to this very special edition of Strange New Pod, live from Chicago.
Cheers! Woo!
It is so awesome to be here. We are so happy and excited to be here for Strange New Pod's first ever convention, Mission Chicago. It hasn't even started yet, and the hype is real. The hype is real. I am your captain and host, Julian Brown, and I have the pleasure of being joined right next to me in person.
For real.
My partner in crime, the person I'm going to be getting a tattoo with at some point this weekend, Captain Giraffe.
Hello.
And we have a very special guest joining us for our review tonight. This is so awesome as well. One half of the Duras Sisters Podcast, Rhianna Herd.
Hey, I'm so happy to be here.
It is so cool to have you here in person. We've had you on the show a couple of times, but you're physically here. This is wild. This is it's insane. It's awesome.
This is the biggest room we've ever done.
This is the biggest room and will probably be the biggest room that we've ever recorded in
glad
ever.
We have witnesses.
Yeah.
Nothing will top this room ever. Welcome, glory to you in your houses, and to our crowd, welcome and glory to your houses as well. Thank you so much for joining us on this Thursday night before the con. It is awesome to have you here. Be ready. We would love some audience participation. We have some things planned, so just be ready. This week, we're reviewing Picard episode 206.
Spoilers.
AKA 2 of 1, which is actually a very appropriate name for this episode. There are spoilers, so if you haven't seen the episode yet, I'm sorry. Good. Awesome. The questions are, why is Picard not waking up? Who won Best Dressed at this gala? And who wins the Battle of Wills between Jurati and the Brog Queen? We break that all down. Giraffe, you were going to read. You were going to read at a convention.
It's written, but first, Giraffe, we need you to thank our patron collective.
We're
level and above. And I saw that like a second ago.
You did, but you got an out yet again. Again.
So it's not because I'm drunk. It's because I'm very tired from having waken up very early this morning.
Yeah, it's the travel.
It's the travel. The travel.
So hard on me.
One of our awesome patron collective members, Talix, is here, and she's going to read our awesome patrons, who we are so thankful to have. Talix, if you could hit this list for me, please. These are the patrons that we have to thank this week for supporting our show and making this happening right here. Like, thank you. You're one of them. This is so cool. We have... Sorry?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that.
Yep, exactly.
There we go. Talix, take it away.
All right, we'd like to say thanks to Simon Stager, Jeff Reeve, Mariah Gossett, Jen Stein, me, Tina Alexander, Joe Saporito, Noe Santos, Kung Hui, Haven, Takako Nagumo, Kara Kennedy, Mark, Fernanda Nogales, SMK, Smith, Ian Davies, Amy Grace, Laura Linderman, Reasonable Stranger, Colin Davidson.
That was an honor, Giraffe. We all know it was.
Colin Davidson, Susie, Jesse Desmond, Alan Davis, and our two newest collective members, Shatterhand 2049 and Lane Hickerson. Woo!
Woo! Thank you to our new patrons. If you're wondering...
I heard that beer.
Yeah, that's going to come right over the mic. Hey, live show, live beers. Yeah. Live show, live beers. If you're wondering...
thank you, Talix, for saving me.
Where your patron stuff is, well, we're at a convention this week, so you'll get it the week after we come back. You're going to be getting some cool stuff in the mail. Rhianna, before we get into some other parts of the pod, like our Strange New Loop, which we have some new listeners, they're going to learn all about the Strange New Loop in just a little bit. Tell us what's been going on. You come on the show a lot. We know the Duras Sisters Podcast, and I'm going to give you an opportunity to plug more at the end, but you guys have like awesome stuff going on right now. So what's new? This is your hometown. What's new? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm just so happy to be here. I live in Chicago, so it was just a quick little red line down here to meet you guys tonight. And the Duras Sisters Podcast is currently, we are doing our feminism series on all of the amazing women in every single Star Trek series, starting from the original series, ending with Lower Decks. Ending with Prodigy. And right now, we just actually today uploaded our Enterprise feminism episode, which was pretty sparse because there's like 2 women and
Yeah,
a couple
not a lot.
writers. So we covered who we could, but we also had a huge honor of having Jara Hodge from Women at Warp be on our show for Voyager. So she talked all things Janeway, and we're going to have some really cool guests coming up as well for Picard and possibly Discovery. So this is just a really exciting time for the Duras Sisters podcast.
And we love absolutely like everything you're doing. I listen to you guys all the time when I take my kids to school. So it's like #1 on my podcast list. So
thank you. I love you guys too. I'm so happy I'm here. This is awesome.
Yeah. We are like, I still can't get over the fact that like we're all here in person. So
Rob is just being like the PR of the
PR?
podcast
Yeah.
and just stopping people in the
you're welcome to. Well, have fun. Yeah. Little pirate radio podcast for the Star Trek convention.
radio.
Yeah.
Hey, we're she's the giant original series fan. Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
TOS.
Classic. Have a good
Hey,
one.
thank you for stopping by, though. How many different levels of Star Trek are there now? Let's see.
8, 9.
I can't count. Prodigy. Strange New World.
12.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another
I got my
story.
Stranger Things socks here, actually.
I'm glad somebody else than me is being disruptive. Come on.
that's okay. You just
We were
either
born
can't
this
or you
way.
can't.
Or you tape your fingers and then learn.
I like
Muscle
Quinto.
memory.
I like Quinto, yeah.
Have a good night.
Yeah, Quinto had to get this, his hand taped to be able to do it. What were we saying?
I think I was saying I listen to the Duras Sisters every single morning on my way to take my kids to school.
It's very cold.
You are. Do you want? Okay. Giraffe is cold. Is she even? Okay, she is actually wearing the hoodie I brought her, so I can't complain.
Yeah. What
That's empty though. It was empty.
that was empty.
It was empty. It's not my fault. It's a wobbly table.
my drink was just thrown from the table.
The next question I want to ask, guys, is because we all are here for a very specific reason. This is what I think Star Trek is hoping is to become like the Star Wars celebration of Star Trek. We're here at Star Trek Mission Chicago. For a lot of people, this is going to be their first convention back since the pandemic rolled around. What's it like? I know it's kind of hard to tell right now because this is the first night. This is when people are still getting in. But what's it like, like that kind of night before atmosphere, like being back at a convention and possibly everything we're going to experience over the next few days?
I mean, I'm just thrilled because I actually was lucky enough to go to Denver for NandesuCon. I'm a huge anime fan, so I was there last September. So I have been to a convention somewhat recently, but it's just such a different feel when it's Trek. I feel like it's more my family, and I just really love Star Trek fans. I think that I connect so much. There's such a good community. And also now being a podcaster and getting to like see Trek through that lens is super fun, and getting to connect with all of these other podcasters who are attending Mission Chicago is so exciting. And I'm just like so happy to be back because my sister and I, we used to go to Starfest every year in Denver, and we used to be just like huge convention nerds. And so the fact that I am back here at a Star Trek convention is like, send me to Stovacor. Like, I can die happy.
That's awesome. Giraffe?
It's my third convention this last 6 months, I think.
I know, you've been on a convention craze.
Yeah.
Going a little wild.
I went to the Comic-Con in November and LA-Con. But yeah, it's a Star Trek convention. So even if LA-Con had like a big Star Trek chunk into it, it's very different to be only with people who are here for Star Trek. I mean, we keep seeing people in like cosplay and with T-shirts and
What T-shirt? I have no idea what you're talking about. There are no Star Trek
Star Trek
T-shirts in
t-shirts,
this room,
what?
except for Rob, who's actually not wearing a Star
Rob
Trek
is
T-shirt.
dude, like you're here incognito. What's happening?
He thinks it's a Star Wars convention. That's what happened here.
Okay. Is that a kitten? What is that? What is that?
It's Canada.
You have a T-shirt with Canada on it?
I mean, if I was from
Why?
Canada, I'd have a Canada
Yeah.
T-shirt too.
Same.
So I'm just saying.
So
Yeah.
So, as much as I was very planning the other convention, I had like a schedule, I knew where I was going. This one, I'm just going to hang around and meet people I know from Twitter.
That's a lot of it, right? It's like all the people we've been talking to over the
I
past
literally
couple
was
of years.
recognized like sitting at the bar today. Just
That's
kind
wild.
of crazy.
At a celebrity mode, be like you do good with the podcast.
Oh,
We
you
get
saw
stickers
Giraffe.
out. Yeah. Giraffe. Really, it was Giraffe, not me, not my beautiful bald head.
It was you too.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It was mostly you. You deserve it. You deserve it. I'm a wrestling fan, if you didn't know. What do you guys feel? Like, what do you guys feel being back at a convention? You know, like this is maybe I have no idea some of your backstories. Like, is this your first convention back from COVID? You want to come back? Come and say? Come on.
I myself have actually gone to multiple conventions for other podcasts.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if you know about the morning stream or the World of Warcraft podcast. What was it? Anyway, Scott Johnson, podcaster. I've gone to his convention that he's done a few times. This is her first one, though.
Very first convention ever.
That's so
Congrats!
That's so cool. Yeah, thanks for sharing, guys. That's awesome. Oh, con newbies are the best, right?
there's nothing like
there's
your
nothing like your
first.
first con. It's so true. There will never be the same experience.
I like
ever
the fact
again.
that in the second con, you're like, wait, you can do this at convention?
Wait. You don't have to go to every single panel?
You can relax and meet people.
Oh, it's so true. Yeah.
And drinks,
Exactly,
drinks.
yeah.
Yeah, all the drinks. Absolutely all the drinks. Yes.
So we're coming up on. I'll just say real quick too. I've been watching Star Trek since I was in diapers. It is my favorite. It is my love. It is my fandom. I will probably be buried in a Starfleet uniform.
Yes.
That all being said, this is my first Star Trek convention.
Yay!
I've
Yeah.
been to many other conventions, but never one that is strictly for Star Trek. So, I have no idea what to expect. I can't wait to meet people like Giraffe said that I've been interacting for the past couple years with on Twitter. I've already gotten to meet some people that are from other, Trek content creators, Trek bloggers, podcasters. Alex Perry from Trek Core. It's so awesome already getting to see some of these people around. So I'm excited to do it. Crack it right on the show.
Yeah,
That's what
gonna-
it's all about. And
Yeah.
I'm going to need
I
a
can't
sip of
with
that.
these nails, though.
Do you need help?
No, I don't.
She got it.
I got it.
Badass.
Yes.
Here we go.
There it is.
That's like commercial worthy. Wow.
That's the one thing about replicators in Star Trek. You don't need to open the can.
Well, I'm sure you
True.
can replicate a can.
Yeah, you
Do you?
Like
You could
can,
replicate it.
cold.
Okay, I guess you could. One can of beer, cold, please, with the can intact.
Ooh, that is weird.
No, not so much. Not so much.
What is that? Sorry.
Oh, didn't go so well.
It's okay. It's an iPhone.
It's all right. So for our new listeners, we're coming up on the point of the show that we have dubbed the Strange New Loop. Now, the Strange New Loop is usually something we ask our fellow podcast hosts that pertains to the episode. It's something to kind of like throw them off and make them think a little bit, sometimes pertaining to the episode. Sometimes it's completely random. And we wanted, before we came up with anything, because we didn't come up with anything on the fly, we hope someone in the audience would. Does anybody have a Strange Loop question that they'd like to throw at us or that they'd like us to answer?
I have one.
Well, okay, but the audience maybe needs to give an answer first.
What's a
No?
strange new loop?
Well, I just explained what the Strange Loop
Okay,
was.
sorry.
Giraffe really wants to do it, but I want to give you guys the opportunity first. Any strange new loops? No. Rob has
Oh,
a
Rob has a loop.
Well,
okay.
if you have a loop, I have to press the button. With that being said, Rob's...
I didn't hear that.
I haven't pressed it. Rob's strange new loop.
I am wondering whether Chris Rios is being set up for a spin-off as Captain of the Stargazer, or being written out as staying in the past with his new love interest, Dr.
No, Vito.
I have forgotten her name.
Vito.
Teresa.
Okay.
Very good one, Rob.
This is a good strange new loop. Who would like to go first?
I say no. They're gonna pull, the one with the whales. But dude, like that woman needs to see the future and that things are gonna get better. It's not like getting a Rios that's gonna fix anything. Take her to the future. She's. You laugh like you're surprised,
Rob
like you
did a
don't
spit
know
take.
me. Come on. So no.
No.
Take her to the future. She earned it.
All
Earned
right.
it. Yes.
Rhianna, what do you think?
I think it's going to be somewhere in the middle, like a sorrowful goodbye, or like something where Rios is like contemplating staying in the past, but then he remembers his life on the Stargazer, and they have to like tearfully say goodbye, and he tells her like, I'm from the future at the moment before they like warp away or something.
Or she dies.
Oh,
Why would you say that?
why?
Why?
Because that's my job. I'm
Literally
meant to
why?
remind you that.
Come on.
That's just cruel.
Come on. So this actually, Rob foreshadowing a little bit. This is going to be a topic we talk about near the end of
Ooh,
the show,
he
which
read
is
the
great.
outline.
He read the outline. But no, I'm happy for it to be the strange new loop. I'm. You got to chill the fuck out.
Giraffe is really excited, everyone.
Giraffe's going full giraffe tonight, and I'm here for it. I'm a yeah. I think she's going to the future. I think
All right.
it's 100% happening. She's going to be like, I can't even remember her name from
Teresa?
Voyage
Teresa.
Home. No,
Oh,
no,
the
no.
one, yeah.
Oh, Jillian.
Jillian,
Anderson.
yeah.
Jillian, who's like, oops, nope, sorry, transporting up with you. I'm going to come with the whales, and I'm going to get put on a science ship because I have no Starfleet training, but...
But I have whale training.
I mean, what is Starfleet training?
What is
Starfleet training?
What is
very
Starfleet
nebulous.
training?
Like, for real. Like, they lock you in a room and wipe your mind and give you a phaser and tell you to shoot the captain to see if you're going to do it.
Oh.
That's Starfleet training.
Oh, I love it.
You're not wrong.
No, you're not wrong at all. Yeah, no, I think she's going to go to the future, or she's going to die.
Yeah, ouch.
Ouch. You had more.
No,
No, why were you going?
because I have a loop.
Oh, we want to do two strange. We're at a convention. We might as well do two.
Double loop.
Double loop.
Okay, everybody has seen the episode, right?
Yes, everybody's seen the episode.
Okay, if you
Wait,
wear...
stop. It's time for the second of two strange new loops.
Thank you. If you were possessed by the Brog Queen
Oh, God.
at a gala... and you
Would I
had
wear
to-
that red dress every single time?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
I mean, Antoine.
Oh, yeah.
And you had to sing a song, which song would it be?
Oh, damn. That's a really good question.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Okay. Yeah.
I got one.
Okay, go ahead.
This is going to be so fucking cheesy. Little Lion Man by Mumford & Sons.
That's a great one.
I have
Thank
no idea what
you.
that
I
is.
love that song.
I love that. That's my karaoke go-to. It's like, oh,
Hell
karaoke,
yeah.
Mumford & Sons, let's go.
I've got you under my skin.
I've got you under my skin. That's a good one.
It's I've got you under my skin.
Bye.
I can't even remember who did it.
Sing it.
Do you want to sing on podcast?
Yes. It's a singing podcast now.
No, you know what would have been fun? Would have been if she'd sung the same song that, I forget the name of the Hollow character, sung in the holodeck in First Contact.
Oh, and I could be wrong, and please correct me if I'm wrong if you know in the audience. I am 99% sure that is either Ron Moore's or one of the writer-producer's wife
What?
singing that in First Contact. It's a great
That's
song.
crazy.
It's a great song.
I'm asking the internet.
Any other answers? Anybody who would sing their song at a gala like that?
Moonlight
No?
Becomes You.
I would definitely sing "Oh, British Tar is a Soul."
Yes, Gilbert and Sullivan. Hell yeah. Sorry? No,
Oh,
no, Edith
Vito,
Piaf. Sorry, that's not happening. this time.
Can you say, like, get out the bridge?
Yes,
Get off the bridge.
this is for Rob. People won't hear it here, but they'll hear it later.
Get off my bridge.
Get off my
There
bridge.
it is. Get off my
Tell him,
bridge.
Picard.
I would sing Umbrella by Rihanna, but
That's a great fucking choice.
Good one. Yeah.
Yes.
but like, yeah, dancing. That's exactly was my
Yes.
second part of my sentence, which was like, but dancing like Tom Holland.
Perfect.
I love
Way
it.
to go.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go. This is the magic behind the podcast. Would somebody be very kind and
Take a picture.
Well, I'm not gonna give my phone because I have to outline it. Take some behind the scenes and then send them to me of us recording.
Here.
That would be awesome.
I don't read the outline anyway. Use my phone.
It's true. She never ever reads the outline.
I'm like the exact opposite. I'm like studying it.
It's true.
I've seen your notes on Instagram. I respect
Yeah.
that.
It's wild. I
Incredible.
love it.
Like,
Thank you.
Guys, let's get to it. It is our Strange New Pod review. This is episode 77 of the pod, reviewing Star Trek Picard, episode...
206.
I screwed that up. No, did I say 207?
206.
206? No, I know. I almost said it twice. I'm tired.
206.
All
You're
right.
good.
All right. Let's get into it. It's our review of Star Trek Picard, episode 206, 2 of 1. That's why it's confusing. There's so many different numbers in one episode going on there. And Rhianna, as our guest... your thoughts on this week's episode of Star Trek Picard.
Wow. Well, this was a really interesting one. I am kind of a huge fan of the going undercover and sneaking into the gala, and like I was only disappointed. Exactly. Literally, like it has such a spy vibe, but I was disappointed and kind of relieved at the same time that they didn't have a scene where someone had to like dance while they were like, okay, distract the guard, because like that's been done so many times in Trek. But it's also
I have no
always
idea what
fun,
you're talking about.
so- literally first contact, like they could just do it again. But there was a lot of like weirdly cringy parts of this episode that I was just like Agnes is singing. Not a fan. Sorry. I know this might be
I'm the only
controversial,
one.
but I do not like Agnes in general. Like I just, as a character, she's not my fave. Like, yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. And there's no light, but
How
like
did the
suddenly
band
there's a
know?
light on her. You're like,
I thought it was maybe some Borg Queen shenanigans.
There's two words.
it's
Plot.
Star Trek.
And armor.
Yep. Yeah, so I definitely felt like there were some parts of this episode where they were just trying to like speed the gala along, and I didn't ever feel sort of the tension of the fact that Renee had to get her into quarantine, and I felt like everyone was sort of just moseying around, and like I know you're supposed to look casual at a gala, but still there was no sense of urgency. There was just like Agnes talking to herself, and then
I'm sorry, but it's just Rob like taking poses.
like amazing,
like being like a pro and
truly
stuff.
next level.
Yeah.
Hired.
But yeah, so I'd say probably though, like easily my favorite part of the episode is when Picard is talking to Renee and
Yes.
giving his amazing impromptu speeches that he just like comes out of him, and I think it's like such the core of Trek and the core of Picard as a character was like him giving his really important speeches that like change someone's mind and help give them the courage to, you know, move on and all of that. And I have a pretty deep connection to Renee because I am like severely anxious, and so like getting to see her like push through her fear is just like one of the coolest things. So that really helped me to sort of like get over some of the hokiness of it. Also, I just am tired of the like 30 minutes before, 20 minutes before. I'm like, why are we doing this? This is if it was like a day before, maybe, or like 3 hours, but it just seems so unnecessary to keep flipping back to Picard on the table. I'm like, I know that it doesn't like help me with the suspense. It just makes it feel kind of hokey. So I was a little mixed on this episode, but I definitely still felt the like passion when I heard Picard speak. I was like, oh yeah, okay, this still has its what it is at its core.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
Giraffe, you're up.
So I like the episode overall. But hello. But I'm saying hi to people. Sorry.
Welcome.
Hello.
But yeah, the beginning with like 16 hours earlier. What was it? 8 hours earlier?
I think it was less than that,
Like,
but I don't know.
Just an hour.
And
yeah,
now
40 minutes.
earlier,
Yeah, something.
40 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very short episode.
38 minutes. Yeah.
Super short.
Yeah.
And then they start with this, and I was like, what is this? NCIS? Like, what am I watching?
Yes, exactly.
Why
Like, was it like,
why couldn't I get CIS?
So I was kind of disappointed by this because, come on, nobody does that in TV anymore. It's kind of
You keep touching
cheesy.
your mic, and every single time it comes through the headset. Just telling you. Just putting that out there right
It's keep
now.
moving. What I can do?
I think you just
Are you
have a
moving
love
the
affair
mic?
with your microphone,
Yeah.
and that's okay. You
Just
gotta
follow it
no,
around.
you gotta flow with the mic.
I got to
Ebb
flow
Go where
with
she
the
and
mic.
flow.
goes. Yeah.
You're
Ebb
giving me
and
anxiety
flow.
because you're like, oh, you need to listen to yourself.
You know, hey,
because
hey,
like you always
hey.
move around the mic like this, like a crazy giraffe.
There were
And
no
now I'm like, okay, the mic is moving, so I
there
need
were
to
no
stop
requirements
it,
listed.
like to stop it from moving, and I still get yelled at. I can't win. What was I saying?
Oh, you
You were talking about
NCIS.
NCIS and the time jumps of this
Okay,
episode.
so yeah, that was a hi.
Hello.
Hi, how are you? I was like, oh, I know them.
We're gonna take a quick 2 seconds because we have some other special guests
The
joining
Promenade
us.
Merchants.
Promenade Merchants podcast is here. David and Heather, welcome. Come take my mic
welcome.
for a second and come say hello, guys.
Now, listen, everybody. It's Mission Chicago. One of the hosts of the Promenade Merchants podcast may or may not already be 2 drinks in.
I mean, I'm like 4 drinks in, so we're good.
I just got it.
Welcome.
What's up, everybody? Hey, I dig your hoodies.
Yeah, the Starfleet Academy and Starfleet Academy alum.
Lies.
I call so much bullshit on you both.
I'm wearing my Niners hat on Sunday, so very excited.
It's so cool to have you guys here. Welcome. Oh, this is so cool. Look, family, podcast family. This is awesome.
We were talking about NCIS.
We were talking about NCIS
NCIS
and
trip.
Star Trek. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to say before you keep going how deep and rich, for those that don't know, the Star Trek podcast community goes, because
Truly.
there are big ones, there are small ones, there are medium-sized ones, and no matter where you are in that, like, everybody works so well together, and the fact that we have 3 different Star Trek podcasts represented here right now is just so fucking cool. So I just want to say that it's awesome that you guys are here. Wow, are they having a thing?
They're having a thing?
Oh, nice. Which bar were you guys at?
At the Hyatt.
Oh, well, that's where
we
we're going
were there.
after, so we're going back.
Yeah.
So don't
Okay,
worry.
we're going
There.
back to the track
Don't
gates,
worry.
I suppose. Yeah.
Giraffe, NCIS, and the timing countdowns.
Yeah, so that was weird. And then again, I don't really care if Picard dies because he already died. So I was like,
He's not going to die again, right?
why are you
Yeah.
like hooking me up on this episode with this? I know you're not gonna kill him off. I really like the talk with Renee. I think it was really cool. I hated the singing too.
Yeah,
Because I was
not
like,
good.
please no, don't do this.
I'm going to be like the sole supporter of
Yeah,
this.
absolutely. I was just like, it was so cringe.
Cringe. Yeah.
Yes, and like she starts like, oh, at the thing, and I was like,
With the
what are you?
spotlight and everything. I was
Yeah.
like, okay.
What are you doing, woman? Like, what is this? And then it's like, oh, I needed the endorphins. Like, get her laid. I don't know. Like, why do you make her sing? Like, it's so weird. Anyway, I was not about that. But I hate singings in, like, that thing. What are you doing?
Would you just keep going?
No musical episode. Veto to a musical episode. I hate musical episode. Like, so, no, we're not singing. I hear you. I see you. And no.
You know we have to sing,
Okay,
right?
I want to say, for my defense, that this was decided before I became a host on the podcast. So I never signed
there
anything.
are patrons here who came to hear us have to sing this song, so it's going to happen.
So about the episode,
About the episode. Oh, no, we do.
I'm very excited to know what is going to happen with his mom. I hope.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. We're spoiling people. The singing sucks.
Not
oh,
a
now
lot
I feel
happened,
super
to
bad
be
now. I'm
completely
like,
fair. Not a lot happened.
Yeah.
No, I like that she had like the little thing from Assignment Earth, like the magical
Yeah, the
screwdriver
yes,
or whatever.
yes.
Yeah,
Very
that was
Doctor
cool.
Who.
Screwdriver?
Yep.
Yeah.
Very Doctor Who, yeah. And I'm looking forward to the next episode, to be honest, because I really want to know what are these flashbacks that he's having and what happened to his mom. Like, oh, this flashback was so scary. That thing in the basement.
Yeah, I want to know what's
what?
going on in the Picard chateau because some shit's up to no good.
I'm
Really
about
dark
it.
shit,
I'm
yeah.
about it. I like my Trek horror. We were like speaking about that episode where like the guy puts a face of another guy. It's like, like very like
Yeah, totally.
silent.
Yeah.
Terrible episode. Absolutely horrible episode. But that scene, only that moment, is like
So good.
yeah, so good. So I like my Trek horror. Like I want more. I'm waiting for something a bit gross and jumpy, and I'm looking.
I know
forward
you
to
live for
episode
that.
7.
I know
yeah.
you live for that.
Your turn, Julian.
I'll be the shill in the room this week. I love this episode. To be fair, I think that this season of Picard has just been next to perfect. It's had some stumbles. It's had a couple of like,
Yeah.
But if you're like comparing this to everything that happened in season 1, this is just so night and day. It's been such a fantastic season. I feel like this episode no different. The only my complaint right off the bat is 38 minutes. Like you're on a streaming service. Like let's
Yeah.
go. Like I need 40.
Literally no commercial breaks.
45 to
Yeah.
60 minutes, please, every episode.
Yeah.
Brog Queen and Jurati. Let's start there. So much fun. Their whole dynamic, the whole her being in her head now. I think it's pretty obvious where that's going to lead near the end of the season, but it's still cool to see and start seeing like where that's headed because we got that at the end of this episode. Jurati's going to be their way home, right? Like that's kind of
yeah,
where we're
definitely.
going. But
Yeah.
like, how is that going to work? Like, how is that going to happen? How much of Jurati is going to be the Brog Queen, and how much of the Brog Queen is going to be Jurati? Who outwits who? We're going to talk about that more in a bit.
Yeah.
Back-to-back Jonathan Frakes episodes, both I think very well directed episodes. He's always so good. I have to say that I watched this episode 2 weeks ago and I did not have a chance to watch it 2 days ago, so some things are foggy from my notes that I took then. I wrote BSG font. I think like in the gala they used the BSG font on some stuff, and I just thought that was really fun. Maybe that's a nod for Ron Moore, like a little Star Trek nod, and hey, Battlestar, we love you and appreciate you. So cool. I'm going to say this every single episode as long as she's in it. Annie Wershing as the Brog Queen has surpassed
Yes.
just this season, like any performance from the Brog Queen. And listen, all like hats off to Alice Creed because she created the role and made it what it is. But like Annie Wershing has evolved it and made it into something that I just never expected to see, and it's so fucking cool. Like
Yes.
I see.
I'm
Stan,
gonna touch
move
them.
that.
I'm gonna
Yeah, I know,
touch
you're
that
doing your thing.
microphone again. I'm gonna get yelled at.
I do have to say too that like
Here we go. Sorry, you interrupted me 3 times while I was doing my review. You think you're gonna get out like this?
Well, David counts as one of those interrupts, so I blame at least one on him.
What is this?
I just see now my train of thought is gone. I was going on a whole beautiful rant
Welcome
about
to my
Annie
life.
Brog
Wershing.
Queen
The
and
Annie
Brog
Wershing.
Queen, Annie Wershing.
I think that this is just going to go down as like one of the most memorable performances in Trek history because, like, if anybody's familiar with her, like her work on 24, like was really emotional and like really crazy too. Like
Some strong reaction in the public.
She's such a good actor, and the way that she's made this role her own, I can go and do an entire podcast just on that. One of my favorite moments from this episode is Rios being a fanboy, and I know that Rob doesn't love this, but
Rob doesn't care. He's
Rob
talking.
doesn't care. You made a friend.
Good for you, Rob, because you don't have hotel keys, so you better make friends.
I love Rios's fanboy appreciation for cigars and like matches. He's like, look, matches.
food.
They make actual fire. This is so cool. Oh my god. I love the fact. Sorry. Yeah,
Real
yeah.
Cuban cigars, yeah.
Real Cuban cigars, and he's just like he fanboys out over it, and he's like a little schoolboy. Not that schoolboys smoke cigars. Maybe not the best reference that I've made on this podcast.
Okay.
I'm gonna say this live on the pod because we're just doing things like right off the hip, and we're here. The Fernanda has landed. She's here.
Oh,
She's in
Pepe,
town.
Yay!
So I'm from Philadelphia, and one of our awesome Patreon collective members, Fernanda, moved to our area recently, and she didn't have to. She had to deal with more weather than I did this morning when I left from Philadelphia, lightning and thunderstorms. So she's finally on her way.
I wonder where's Jesco.
Yeah.
Where are you, Jessica?
She's coming. She's coming. Patrick Stewart. I think I said this on last week's show, and I'm going to say it on this week's show again.
He's very old.
I hate you. If you watch Patrick Stewart in season 1 of Picard and you watch him in season 2 of Star Trek Picard, it's a completely different actor.
Totally.
Right? Like, he is having so much more fun in this role. Like, I think that, like, last season, they gave him enough of a script and a story to come back that was like, okay, this mostly works, I'll do it. And I know most of the Trek community is pretty much on the same page about season 1. You could tell as an actor how much more fun he's having on the set, doing his speeches and just like being the character actor that he is. I love everything about Patrick Stewart this season, and you could see it from every performance. Finally, a lot of hints from Jeff Russo to the First Contact score in this episode, and I'm a sucker for that score. It's, I think, my favorite Star Trek score. So
that's phenomenal.
Anytime Jeff Russo does that, and I'm gonna be the guy. I fucking loved the singing. I loved it. I loved every moment of it. It was so good.
Okay, raise of hand. Who liked the singing in that episode?
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
No. She's a very good. No.
6.
No. Wait. I'm gonna
like
precise.
5.5.
She's a very, very good singer. She did an amazing job at singing. But who thought it was cringe? Okay.
Oh, wow. We're in the minority.
You guys are in the minority. Thank you. Yes.
Fair enough.
I'm still right.
And I didn't put this in my notes because I know we're going to talk about it in a little bit as we get into more detail. But my favorite scene from this episode is Jean-Luc speaking with Renee. I mean, it is just, it is so good, and he's speaking from the heart, and she's also just really good. And I hope like this isn't just like the only season that we get her in. Like I know she probably can't come to the future, but she's been fantastic.
You know what?
Go ahead.
I realized that I'm very tired.
No.
Yes. And we didn't speak of Isa Briones, right?
Yeah, we haven't talked about her yet.
No.
Yeah, but that scene was pretty cool.
I don't even have that in the...
Yeah.
We're going to replace that at the end with the Strange Loop
like
question.
the moment where she goes through all the videos and like try to slowly puzzle
Put the pieces together. Yeah.
And she's made like she's an
in,
experiment is very Star Trek.
So
this was a
cool.
very, very good Star Trek moment for me. Yeah,
it was.
Yeah,
it was.
really tapped into the horror stuff you're talking about. You know, like I feel like this episode and this season in general is tapping into sort of like Voyager-esque like horror that I love. Yeah,
and a bit too into like like measure of man-esque thing of like, am I alive? Am I a person? Am I? Yeah.
And she had
but
a
also about
that
like
last season. Poor thing. Like,
but also about like the lines that are being crossed, right? Like with what he's
mad
with,
scientists and
Adam
stuff.
Sandler's
Yeah,
doing.
that was.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna get more into that. I totally forgot to put that in the notes, so thank you for reminding
You're
us.
welcome. It's because there was all the Greek names, so I was really into it.
I want to get in more detail about this episode, Rhianna. I'll start with you as we go back around. Even though Picard is the one lying unconscious right at the beginning of this episode, it still, I feel like, belongs to Agnes and the Borg Queen, because that dynamic is just is so good right now.
Yeah.
What do we think of not only their symbiotic relationship in this episode, but like we know that the Queen's going to have this inevitable takeover of Jurati, right?
Totally. I think it's already happening. Like I think this is like right when her eyes went black after she's done with her song. It's like, okay, Agnes is taking a back seat for a while. And I think this is really cool because we have been setting this up, and I knew, like, the Borg Queen's not dead. Like, she didn't just shoot her and, like, done with it.
Two episodes and you're like, done.
Yeah, like, no way. And so to see this and to see their, like, play off each other, I was also thinking about Voyager again. I'm just like, this is as good as, like, Endgame, and like these episodes where like we're having sort of a battle of wits between Janeway and the Borg Queen. Now it's Agnes and the Borg Queen, and I think the difference though is that Agnes is very similar to the Borg Queen, and Janeway is like a polar opposite. And so in that respect, like they really do work well together. And I think in some cases, like Agnes kind of wanted her to like be a part of that, kind of wanted to be a part of the collective. To like alleviate that loneliness. And I think that that's sort of a like unconscious part of her that is like, maybe I do want to be a part of this collective. And I'm also like, I know that this episode had barely any 7 of 9, but like I would love to hear what she thinks about all this, because like
I feel like we're gonna have to get there at that
batshit
point,
crazy.
right?
I think she's gonna be so
we need
furious.
more, because like she has no opinion about Q, which I find so
Right?
weird.
That's been
I'm
weird.
Just like,
Yeah.
please,
Yeah.
I just feel like
come
it's not
on.
very 7 centric, which like I get they're trying to like juggle so many characters at once, but yeah, I feel like the dynamic was really interesting and so intriguing. I just wish I cared about Agnes more. Like I wish I had more of an attachment to her as a character, because I think I'd be more invested in the storyline and more like worried about her. But I'm sort of like pro, like, okay, like let's just join them up. Like, you know, I mean, they're gonna work well together, but also she's, you know, might assimilate everyone. So
And that would
wouldn't
be
be
bad
good.
news.
I think Agnes is paying for the first season, because
Yeah.
they totally fucked up her character
They really
like,
did,
into
yeah.
oblivion. But yeah, I still care for her now. I feel her. She's lonely. It's not fun.
But this
She's
is
going through
fun
it.
lonely for Agnes, because like you're getting that dynamic. Like, okay,
I mean, she get to bang Rios. I mean, I'm not gonna be too sad for her. Let's be honest.
but like Annie Warshing and Alison Bell have like great chemistry together, like
Totally.
really good. If you were going to do one thing with her this season, whether it's, you know, she needs more of it, this is it. Like it's working, it's doing well. So I'm here for it.
You forgot
Yeah.
your drink?
He always forgets his drink.
is
He's gone over like 3 or 4 times. Anything else on this before we
I
move
was
on?
just gonna quickly
Yeah, go ahead.
note my sister. She texted me the other night and said, like, why is it whenever Agnes is alone she kills somebody?
I mean,
literally.
true. Don't leave her alone.
Yeah, like rule number 1, guys.
Oh
They
my
should know
god,
better.
That's brilliant. It's so
Yeah.
true. Agnes needs to stop. Well, is the Borg Queen a person?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's multiple person technically.
Yeah,
She's a being.
and she still identifies as a being.
Sorry?
So.
Yeah,
True.
Yeah, murdering a murderer. Interesting point. As I said earlier, I was kind of giving a lot of praise on Patrick Stewart, or Sir Patrick Stewart, which I think is
Yes.
well deserved.
I'm French. I don't call
as-
anybody sir. Somebody called me a happy golem on Twitter. What the?
Interesting.
Sorry.
His whole conversation with Renee in this episode is like just so beautifully well done and so well acted. And thoughts on this moment, because I feel like this is kind of going to be that like turning point in the season, right? Or maybe it won't be.
I think so. I mean, I think what's so important about this conversation is that I don't know if Picard would have been able to have it in season 1, because he was going through so much of his own turmoil, and like you were saying, I think they were literally like just trying to get Patrick Stewart back for season 1 by like adding some depth to his character, because he said in an interview like, I won't come back unless you add like layers to Jean-Luc, and so that's why, you know, season 1 was made. But I feel like this season we get to see like a clear-headed Picard who is more invested in like, I don't know, like reaching out emotionally in different ways. And I have only ever known a very emotionally stunted Picard, so like this is very nice.
Oh my
It's
God, this
very
is so
refreshing.
true.
Yeah, so
Yeah, but
I like it.
She's his ancestor too. He has like a
Yeah,
family
that's true.
thing, and I'm wondering since the beginning of the season if all this flashback is having about his mother on you, you know. So he didn't have this relationship to family before. Well, except in Generations, but
Oh God.
let's not talk about
God.
this.
Oh,
But
they
yeah,
burned
yeah.
in a fire.
But I think that we have a very lonely Picard that has died, right? And would have died without like legacy for itself.
True.
So having this young woman, even if technically she's his ancestor, you know, it's like somebody can help and guide and give some, you know, wisdom to. So I think it's
Absolutely.
kind of like the kid he never had, which is like very Picard to do that to his ancestor, basically.
Yeah, literally.
Let's
That's
not
so
have
meta.
it. Yeah, that's very meta. It's very on point for the character too.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah. I love this moment so much, and like I said, I really hope that I hope that there's more of Renee, because I think that she's a great character. I really hope we get to see more.
And I
of
think
her.
she's legit half French. She's Australian.
Oh, the actress? Yeah, okay.
So I'm like, oh, incredible.
Yes.
I know that you guys brought up this kind of trope, and we were talking about it at the bar earlier with a lot of shows using the 10 minutes before, 10 minutes after, and we all know Battlestar really started the long gap of 1 year later, holy shit, what's gonna happen? This has just become like a bigger and bigger trope in television. I didn't mind it for this episode. Did I need it? Not necessarily. I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on that. This is kind of a bigger question. There is actually a bigger question, but I'm going to kind of sidebar because we're doing really well on time, so I'm trying to fill a little bit of it.
Yeah. Everybody wants to go drink. Look at them.
I know. Well, Rob is just chatting everybody up.
Yeah, Rob is the PR. Rob is doing a great job. We don't have drinks anymore. We're very sorry.
It's a simple question though.
Is it Andy Kaufman?
Yes! Welcome. It's so good to have you here finally. That's awesome. Yay. Oh, so many patron members. This is awesome. Yeah. Yay or nay on
No, nay.
Nay?
Nay.
So many
Star
horses.
Trek.
Nay.
Star Trek doesn't need to do that. What is this?
Yeah.
No.
Stop.
Where
like
is there
it.
people that say yes?
Yeah, we're gonna pull the audience again. Yay
Yeah,
or nay
yay or
on
nay.
before and afters, 10 minutes later, 1 year later. Raise of hands for yes. Raise of hands
0.
for no.
Nobody's excited about
Yeah, okay.
anybody's excited.
Everybody's
about
just like it works. Go ahead.
it depends on the time frame.
Yeah, like 10 minutes is kind of ridiculous. Like if you're gonna do a year, like I can live with that. But like just 10 minutes is
multiple times in an episode.
Thank you.
Because they did it like 3 times in this one.
It was obnoxious how many times they did it. I agree.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. Once or twice, like at the beginning and the end. But yeah, let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
And as I did put here, this episode kind of starts, I should say, as no. Yeah, see, I need to not write outlines on an airplane because I
have no
really
idea what's
messed
going
up. No, actually, that is right. The end of this episode starts as begins. Picard is sacrificing himself for Renee. Adam Sung, who's been contracted, I guess is the best way to put it.
Contracted, yes.
Contracted by Q.
I never thought of it that way. That's
Right?
hilarious.
Like, can't just do the snap. So he's like, dude, I just kind of need you to run over this girl. Can you do that for me? Yeah.
We
Kim-
didn't tell
Kim, my
him.
daughter.
Didn't tell him to run over.
He said, get rid of a problem.
Yeah.
And he-
Dispose or something.
Dis-
He's a
suppose-
scientist. Can he like use some poison in her drink? Like, we're gonna
No,
run
he
her
just said,
over.
vroom, vroom, let's go.
I mean, it's LA, so
Yeah.
that's on point. It's like
That
on brand for LA, right? That tracks.
Absolutely.
Rios suggests that he takes him to his girlfriend's clinic.
Yeah, because he
that's-
just wants to see her again. We know.
Exactly. And everybody was like, no, you really shouldn't see her anymore because of butterflies.
Oh, in the stomach.
Yeah, in the stomach. Other than the very obvious reasons why someone may not immediately wake up after being hit by a car, because there's quite a few.
Sure.
That's obviously not anything that Star Trek is going to do. So theories, why is Jean-Luc not waking up?
Trauma. That's my theory.
Okay. So first of all, I thought it was kind of like, I was not really like, sacrificing is a sin. Like, they can fix him. I don't know. I'm not so.
But he's supposed to be like a Data. Like, Data just doesn't even, like, nothing happens to Data.
Data gets like a bullet, like gets
He gets like a
beheaded,
Tommy
and
gun.
he's like,
Yeah.
And I'm fine.
good,
But I guess Sue
And,
did
like-
say, like, your body will be the same-ish. So maybe they made it, like, a little more...
You tell me he can't take,
So-
he's an android who can't take bullets?
Yeah, basically he's
Yeah, I don't
made,
know.
but he cannot get run over by a car. Like,
Right.
what? No,
Yeah.
okay, so I was like, so I have a theory.
Could it be bunnies?
No.
Ah, good one.
Damn it. Bunnies.
But
Bunnies and bunnies!
I don't know. Okay, I know it's not going to be that because Star Trek is never that smart. But he got messed up by Sung, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder, like, if he didn't do something else to him. But he doesn't know he's a synth, right?
No.
So forget it. But
But I like where you're going, though.
Yeah.
yeah, because I feel so weird. Like, he got, like, just, like, bumped by a car and he's, like, in a coma for hours, days, whatever. You have a Fury? Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm forbidden to move my mic.
You are.
Fair enough. I think that if you remember in season 1 how the last Dr.
don't remember
Soong
season 1.
said that they made sure to make Picard's 90-something-year-old body pretty much the same as it was before he died. And maybe now, after getting hit by that car, that synthetic body is just kind of going into some sort of blue screen of death hard reboot mode. And his brain is just kind of stuck. And there have been so many theories about how the brain can go through so much different kinds of neurological activity.
With a synthetic brain?
It's supposed to be as close to his human body as possible. So that brain might be going through a lot of the same things that a human brain would be going through right at the brink of death, because there have been studies about that, how the human brain will go through all sorts of things right when it's on the edge of death. The idea of seeing your life flash right before your eyes. So maybe that's something while the synthetic body is trying to regenerate or do a check disc or a reboot, Picard's synthetic brain is just going through all kinds of cattywampus things.
Yeah, that's a really good theory.
Yeah, that's really
I love
good.
that.
That's really good.
And I wonder too how much what happened to his mother is actually an effect of what
They
they're
always
doing
have
right
mommy
now.
issues.
This is what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Whatever they're doing right now in 2024 is actually affecting his past. So he's getting these new memories kind of that didn't exist before, and then maybe it's what is making him bug.
Yeah, I think that's very plausible. Or I'm thinking maybe he like repressed a memory, and then meeting Renee, and remember he had that little flashback while they're talking, and he's been having sort of like thinking about his mother a lot in the beginning of the season. And so I'm thinking it is like truly a trauma response where like his brain is going into like hibernation mode because it's like can't deal with the like traumatic experiences that he's like that are resurfacing for him. Because, like, whatever's in the basement of the Picard Chateau, which is terrifying.
Or
Bunnies.
we know there are Vulcans in that story, right? Because we saw them.
We haven't seen them yet.
That trailer, okay?
Yeah.
So we saw them in that trailer, and I wonder how much they delete some memories of what happened, and because he's in synth body and they're messing up with time, this is coming back and messing him up, basically, putting him into like a...
I mean, Vulcans can erase memories like they did with Pol and Pajem.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Yeah. Come here, because we can't hear you.
He specifically mentioned, not Laris, mentioned jerry-rigging a mind meld, so they're
Yes.
bringing Vulcans up.
You're so right.
Oh, they are. Like, we saw them in the trailer. They come in.
We're going back to Carbon Creek.
My money.
That is my jam.
My money is on Sarek, but I would love Mestral to be back so much.
I do have a
so
for those that don't know,
so
we're kind of doing pirate radio on with our Discord collective right now. They're hearing some of the audio from our podcast right now. We actually have a question from Takako, one of our Patreon collective members, who asks, is the body of the Jean-Luc Picard we're seeing right now the Gollum body, or is it the body of Jean-Luc Picard of the dystopian future, whose body is 100% human? So
no, it's a Gollum body.
It is a Gollum body. This question is actually answered in episode 2. Q is going through, why Jean-Luc is such a horrible human being in the dystopian future, and why he has a skull of our favorite Cardassian, Gul Dukat. Skull Dukat. Oh, by the way, we have sticker sheets with Skull Dukat on them for $5 each. They're here. See us during the convention for more. Shameless self-plug, so sorry. The answer to that question is that Gul Dukat is the reason why in the dystopian future Jean-Luc Picard has a Gollum body. So they had a fight to the death.
Yeah, true.
Gul Dukat, I think, killed him, and he got a Gollum body.
And we see it in that episode when she tried the defibrillator on him, and it fucks up everything.
Out,
yeah.
This is going places. I'm here for it, and I want to see that trauma, like you mentioned, Rhianna. Like this is maybe finally where we're going to get to see Picard's mommy-daddy issues.
Yes.
So give it to us.
Vulcan
We've been
issues.
waiting so many years.
I want to give props to Rob, who came up with our Stranger Loop at the beginning of the show, which was one of the questions that we had on here. So that's like great foresight.
Robbie's not listening at all.
No, that's fine. That's good. Hey, part of the reason we did this is so people could make friends. So I'm here for it.
They already know each other.
Well, I know that, but not in real life. This is the first time they're meeting in real life.
Authentic.
This is authentic.
Just hugging like bros and drinking a beer.
As they should. We didn't talk at all about Soji, aka I can't even remember what
Corey, which means young woman.
We figure out that Adam Sung and the whole Sung line have always been crazy fucking scientists. We know now that.
I mean, that's dedication. You have to give them that. Generation.
They
of
do
mad
generations
scientists,
of mad
like,
scientists.
Wow.
Corey is a clone, and
Rob is not listening, so MC is gonna have a question.
Is it about this?
Very much so. So presumably Adam Sung is around the same age as Brent Spiner. So he was around 30 during the eugenics war. So Adam Sung, what part in the eugenics war did he have? Because
Thank you. I've been wondering this for like so many episodes. Right when they started talking about like manipulating genetics, I was like, but genetics wars already happened.
And
what's going on?
In this episode, you see written eugenics.
Yeah.
Like in one of the articles she's reading, you see it written. So
I'm so glad you brought that up. That's
Do you want to go on more about this, Rhianna, about like the fact that he's cloning, what this means for either the dystopian future or even the not dystopian future? Because no matter what, he probably has a hand in the Sungs, creating androids, later down the line.
Totally. I mean, I think this is fascinating, and I also just want to like shout out to Corey because like this sucks. This would be horrible to find out, and like also just like another way to just like literally manufacture women. I'm just so mad about it. I'm like, this is the least feminist thing you're ever doing soon. I hate it, but like I think it's so interesting that in all these different timelines, Soji is like kind of going through a similar questioning of being an identity, and that's so fascinating to me that like this is kind of a similar story for hers in season 1, but at the same time I think that like the fact that he's done so many experiments, I mean, I don't know how many names we heard, but
a
it was
ton.
Like,
I have a list
so many.
because they all refer to something.
Please
so.
read a giraffe.
No, I mean I have it in my head, so I cannot read it. But okay, so there's Corey.
She's got an android brain. She's got them all.
Yeah.
There's Persephone, there's Persephata, and there's Despina.
Yeah, Artemis.
And Artemis, yes. So there's 5 of them. 4 of them refer to daughters of Demeter, so the goddess of nature, right? Except Artemis. But all of them are like kind of like virgin, maiden, goddess entity, and all of them turn around the idea of being the daughter. So
Gotcha.
guy has like
so cool.
much ego.
Yeah. I mean, it's true. It's like staggering how truly he like wants to just like create women and create like these sort of, and I feel like he's creating them to be like docile and indoors and like sort of to his like,
you can wonder too how much it has been ingrained in Dada that wants a daughter too,
yeah
Hello.
Oh, no, we're just like talking Star Trek.
We're talking Star Trek Picard. Keep going.
Oh, that's all.
That's all.
Yeah,
He's
so
just curious
like he
what's
wants like Dada paints daughter, that painting, and has a daughter and so on. So it's kind of interesting to see that somehow maybe the Sung like need to have a daughter is ingrained into Dada too.
I mean, that's
that
true.
wants a daughter with Lal and all
even
this.
Soon in Enterprise,
Yes,
like collected all of those little genetically modified babies. So like he just always wants children, I guess.
I love this season. I love everything, everywhere they're going. Like I said, there's been a couple of slow moments. I do wish the episodes were longer. I love the history. Like we've always wanted to know more about the Sungs and like where Data came from, not just from the original Dr. Sung that we got by like Brent Spiner playing 10,000 different versions of themselves. But now we're getting it back like centuries and like the whole genealogy of the Sungs, and I think that's just so freaking cool.
Epic,
and it seems like they're going to answer a lot of questions this season. Like I don't think they're going to leave us hanging too much, which I also appreciate.
Definitely.
So I'm all about it. But as far as like Corey, the way that shot was filmed of her like finding out everything, it's so damning. It's so emotional, and it's not only emotional for her, and I know that she's the victim in all this, but like you got to imagine that like Sung has regrets too. And even though that she is a clone, like she still has like massive love for Corey, and like the fact that he's willing to kill for her, you know. So it's just there's so much. You said it right at the beginning, trauma, right? Like there's so much trauma, like on both sides of the scope there. Any other final thoughts on this episode? Before we rate it. Any final thoughts? Well, we're going to read the mailbag too. So.
I mean, it also did make me wonder how many of Soon's other daughters like discovered this, you know, or how long they survived. It seems like some of them only survived a little while, but like I'm just curious how many others like figured out how wild he is. Yeah. Off the rails.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. So many icons, yeah.
But still, like that's a significant amount of people. You're absolutely right.
So true.
As she was going through some of the hits that he had on the thing, it was, a couple of hours. I don't think anything went more than 6 months. I think she was the only one that...
Yeah, she's special, right? Like Corey's special.
Wait, she survived the longest. Yeah,
she's special because he stops there.
Even in Enterprise, they talked about how they had done generations of genetics that led to a lot of things, and then when he got caught, he finally said, "All right, wait a minute, cybernetics."
Yeah, well said.
That's where they made the switch.
Yeah,
very
so
well
true.
said.
Wow.
So true. Picard is this season is kind of putting all the canon together of Next Generation, Enterprise, like everything about the things, like I was saying earlier, and I think that is so cool. Let's do it. Let's do our rating, and hopefully we can get everybody to come to the mic and rate this episode.
Okay.
Listen, we were at a gala. We didn't even talk about the beautiful costuming in this episode because everybody looked so damn good. But it kind of wasn't the point of the episode, right? Like red dress. Oh, she could sing, can't she? Let's rate this episode out of 10 gin martinis. Before we go, why don't we let the crowd go first? Does that sound good? Everybody, if you'd like to come up and give your rating, we have mics out of 10 gin martinis. Come on up.
Okay, I haven't actually watched the episode yet, but I've had 3 drinks so far, so it's going to get at least 3 gin martinis. I want a musical episode. No! Sorry, Drew.
I'm going to go with 7 because it was really, really good, but there were just a couple of things that I would have changed on it.
Fair.
All right, I'm going to say 8.5 and it was way better than last week.
Fair.
I mean, that says a lot.
Yeah, what was that last week?
I give it a 9, and I take off a point because I blinked and it was over.
Yeah. It was so short, yes.
But it had a lot of different things in it and answered a lot of questions. And I'm a dad of a daughter. I know exactly where he's coming from.
Yeah.
You'll do anything for your kids.
Anybody else?
Rob!
Calling this one a 7.5 out of 10. Good episode. Not knocked it out of the park like the first 2.
David, you better come up here and make a pun because Brittany's not here.
I'm going to give this episode a 5.
Woo!
Because to be quite frank, not a lot happened. There were some good moments between the Picards, but generally,
I agree.
All right. I think that is... you think you've been on the pod twice. I think that's your lowest rating since you've come on the pod a couple times. Interesting. All right. I dig it. Rhianna, as our guest, your rating.
I'm going to give it like a 6.5. So like 6 martinis and a shot.
Okay. All right.
That's how you party. Yeah.
Definitely could use some improvements.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 7.5. It's a good transition episode.
Yeah.
I have many questions. I want to see the next one. I want to know how Agnes, Queen, Borg, whatever she is now, is going to assimilate LA, and good for LA because I'm done with this city. Get assimilated, okay? already, and what is going to happen in Picard's mind. So I think it's like one of these episodes where, it goes a little bit downhill so we can get new plots. And it was well done. It was entertaining.
Too short.
Too short. Very short.
Yeah.
I'm at the 7.5 too because it's too short. It's a great episode. Like these episodes haven't been bad, but like when you're on a streaming service and people are paying money for said streaming service, like fill those episodes a little bit. You could have done stuff with Seven and Raffi. You could have done more with Rios.
Yeah. That is honestly one of my biggest complaints is that we have not seen any of Seven and Raffi's relationship. And, like, as a lesbian, I'm like, I need representation in Trek that I've never had. And so, like, can we just get that going, please? Like, I would love to see about their relationship, like, anytime besides back in the past where Raffi's, like, grieving.
Yeah.
Also, Elnor is my favorite Picard character, so I'm furious.
Oh my god, me too! Thank you! When he was there at the gala, like, looking fine, looking
in
well,
the suit,
looking
I was
swell.
like...
I was like, yes, more.
Yeah.
Crazy, bring back
like my
Murder
son.
Bay, bring back Murder Bay.
Generally, when we do a live show every week, we do what Brittany, before she left the show, famously named the subspace to poll. But we just didn't have the time with traveling and everything to put a poll up on Twitter today. But we do have a ton of mailbag for this episode, so let's get it. The mailbag is open.
Hailing frequencies are open.
And, Rhianna, you're going to help us with mailbag tonight. Why don't you take the first one here with
I'm
Mag
getting the
Mags?
second one because it's very short.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so Mag wrote, wow, an amazing episode. Not Laris is stealing my heart. Agnes's red dress is stealing the show. Love the weird, humorous juxtaposition of the Borg Queen in the midst of the gala. Jurati can sing. For me, major tapestry vibes. I'm sure Giraffe can enlighten us on the classical names of Kore's prior sisters. And the name of Persephone really stands out. What do you think will happen with Elnor?
What do we? I don't think Elnor is dead.
No,
God, you
they
can't do
wouldn't
that
do
to
that.
Murder Bay. You can't do it.
I mean, even if Agora is right here now, somewhere around us.
Then one of these 10,000 hotels.
I'm going to find you.
Oh, please. Can I cut that part out? Oh, Murder Bay. Yeah, you get the short and sweet one.
Ensign Davies wrote, I'm loving Queen Jurati. And that is all.
As do we all. Haven wrote, this is such a short episode, agreed, but all I could really think is, wow, it was so great. I think it was Eric who said this week's episode was his personal best. He did. Eric, obviously we're not doing a live show tonight. Usually we're live on Twitch. Eric did say on last week's episode, I think more of a jab at Giraffe. Oh man, wait till you watch next week's. It's my favorite. I think he did say this was his personal best. Also, if a practicing doctor can restore Picard from surviving a high-speed hit and run, there's no reason why our favorite Murder Bay shouldn't have survived.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, there it is.
Justice for my son.
There you go. And actually, we have mailbag from someone who's live in attendance right now. MC, come read your own mailbag, please. Pick a mic. There you go. That mic.
Rob basically took my question because I was, I liked the episode. I thought that, people were complaining about it being short, but it kept filler out of it because there have been some filler in the episodes. And I think that setting up Rios with all of this, boy, the past was awesome with their Cuban cigars and, hot doctors. I think he's staying in the past.
Right? Someone's coming to the future or someone's staying in the past. I agree. And thank you for being here. Back to the top. I think you're going to close me out with it. Actually, no, wait. Sorry. Mr. Andy Kaufman, a.k.a. Jeff, get your butt over here. Read your mailbag, sir.
Woohoo!
My kids make fun of me the way I hold my phone. All right. Really strong episode with all storylines tied tightly together. Loved Queen Agnes, and I thought Raffi and Rios' talk was really good. Looks like we will finally see how Mama Picard fits into all this. Getting vibes of O'Brien and Bashir going into Sloane's mind on DS9.
Oh, nice
That's
mailbag.
Oh, I like it. Well done.
You
Well
want to
done.
take my spot as a host because you have better takes than me, to
Killing
be
it.
honest. Yeah, killing it. A+.
Great. This is like one of our best mailbags, I think, so far. So Yeah, that was a lot of good
me
mail.
for the other.
It was a little bit. It was a little bit. That's gonna do it for the show. Before we close out and wrap up, Rhianna, it is shameless plug time. What's going on at Duras Sisters? I know you told us about the awesome feminism series you guys are doing right now. Have you guys picked a one coming up, a new topic that you guys are going to be going on, or is that in the future still a little bit?
It's still in the future. Ashlyn is thinking of it now. We switch off series, so I chose feminism, so it's her turn to choose next. So she's oscillating between 3 different ideas right now, so we'll let you know soon. But you can find the Duras Sisters podcast wherever podcasts are found, and you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Tumblr. And we also have a merch store on Threadless where I'm also wearing my Picard as my Chuddy shirt
that is a
that
dope
I made.
shirt.
So you can buy that and many of our other merchandise on our store. So I'm just so honored to be here on the pod with you. Thank you.
I'm just going to say again, and I don't know if Giraffe was going to say it too.
What was I going to say?
I don't know how awesome it is, again, to have you in person, have everybody here in person. This
is like the coolest
Anybody
podcast
wants to
experience.
plug,
Yeah, this is
plug
so cool.
anything? The prominent merchant, you have anything to plug?
Yeah, you guys want to plug real quick?
Let's
David.
go.
Well, everybody, thank you so much. Julian, thank you for the plug. We, myself and Heather Kirby, are the Promenade Merchants. We are the cool, scrappy underdog Star Trek podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at PromTrekPod. Heather Kirby, my fantastic co-host, talks a lot about representation and storytelling and how much all of those things are really important to Star Trek, and I make a lot of bad jokes. You can follow us wherever you get your podcasts and on Twitter at PromTrekPod.
And we are soon to be celebrating our 50th episode. And
Party!
like I said, we were hanging out with the Trek Geeks earlier, who will be joining us for our 50th episode.
That's
Nice.
Yeah. I chat a lot with Bill on Twitter. Trek Geeks are awesome. Love those guys. And they have
We're
a
gonna
great,
go drink
they have a
with
great
them
network.
now.
I think we are going to go drink with
Yeah.
them now. I am going to say that is the end of our show. One, I would like to give a big round of applause to everybody here. Thank you guys so much for joining us live. This has been so much fun. Hopefully this is something we're able to do at more conventions and just grow and grow and grow. It's so awesome to see.
Until we do our own convention.
Until we do Strange New PodCon, which Giraffe is going to run, not me.
No, I will not.
I will. There you go.
All the cigars.
I'm going to say join us on all of our various socials for the rest of the weekend. We're Strange New Pod on Twitter and Instagram. That's where we're going to be posting for the remainder of the weekend. We're going to show you around Mission Chicago. If you're not here, this is mainly for people going to be listening tomorrow and throughout the weekend. Live vicariously through us if you can't be here. We want to see you here, but we understand if you can't be. So that's going to do it. For Rhianna, for Giraffe, I am Julian. Say no to NFTs. Live long and prosper. Majram, good night.
Thanks for beaming into our podcast today. If you want to keep the hailing frequencies open, you can subscribe on Apple and Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. Like what you hear? Put in a good word with Starfleet and leave us a 5-star review.